The storm raged outside Jia's small research pod. Rain hit the metal roof like tiny bullets. Wind shook the walls. But Jia didn't care. She was too busy being angry. Stupid Tai, she muttered as she checked her equipment. Stupid mission. Stupid planet. 3 months ago, Jia had been happy. She was the top xenobiologist on Research Station, Sigma 7. She had a boyfriend who seemed to love her. She had respect. Now she had nothing. Tai had ended their relationship to date Sue, the pretty new communications officer. Then he took credit for Jia's research on local plant life. Now he ran the xenobiology team. And Jia got sent on dangerous solo missions. Volunteer, they said. Good for your career, they said. She tossed sample containers into her bag. More like good for getting me away from the station. Lightning flashed outside. The scanner on her belt beeped. Something big was moving near her pod. Jia froze. The scanner showed a life form bigger than anything they had found on this planet so far. It was moving slowly, strangely, like it was hurt. Not my problem, Jia said out loud. Station rules were clear. Observe only. Do not interact with large unknown life forms. Especially not alone. Especially not in a storm. The scanner beeped again. The creature had fallen. Its life signs were getting weaker. Jia sighed. She put on her rain suit and grabbed her medical kit. I'm going to regret this, she said as she opened the door. The wind nearly knocked her down. Rain stung her face. She followed her scanner through the mud to a clearing. There it was. The creature was huge, at least 7 feet tall, with a body covered in scales that shimmered even in the dim light. It had 4 main arms and 2 smaller ones. Its face was flat, with 3 dark eyes arranged in a triangle. A deep cut ran down its side, leaking something blue. It looked at Jia and made a low sound like a moan. Jia should have been scared. She should have run back to her pod and called the station. But something in those 3 eyes looked so aware, so intelligent, so afraid. I'm going to help you, she said, knowing it couldn't understand her. She approached slowly, showing her empty hands. The creature watched her but didn't move. It was too weak. Jia scanned the wound. The cut was deep but clean. She could treat it, but not here in the rain. I need to get you to my pod, she said. Can you walk if I help? As if it understood, the creature tried to stand. Jia moved closer and let it lean on her. It was heavy but seemed to understand what she wanted. Somehow, they made it back to the pod. Inside, Jia helped the creature lie on the floor. It barely fit in the small space. This breaks about 20 station rules, Jia told it as she cleaned the wound. But I'm already in trouble, so what's a few more rules? The creature watched her every move. When she applied medicine to the cut, it flinched but stayed still. When she bandaged the wound, it touched the bandage with 1 finger, then touched Jia's hand. You're welcome, she said. I'll call you Da. It means greatness in my language. Because you are very great, in size at least. Day blinked its 3 eyes in sequence. Its scales changed color slightly, becoming more purple than blue. I should report you, Jia said, sitting back on her heels. Todd would love to study you. Cut you up, probably. She looked at Day's intelligent eyes. But I won't. Not yet. Day made a soft clicking sound. 1 long arm reached out slowly and pointed to Jia, then tapped its own chest. Yes, Jia said, surprised. I'm Jia. You're Da. The storm continued outside, but inside the small pod, something strange and wonderful had begun. Something that would change Jia's life forever. 3 days had passed since Jia found Dai in the storm. She had told the station she was stuck because of weather damage to her pod. It wasn't a complete lie. The storm had damaged her communication system. She just didn't mention the 7-foot alien living with her. Dai's wound was healing fast. Too fast for any normal creature. Jia wrote everything down in her private journal instead of the official logs. They wouldn't believe me anyway, she told Dai as she checked his bandage. Or worse, they would believe me and Tai would take over. Day watched her with his 3 eyes. He seemed to understand more each day. He pointed at objects, and Jia would say their names. He made sounds that got closer and closer to her words. Water, Jia said, holding up her bottle. Water, Day repeated. His voice was deep and rough, but the word was clear. Jia almost dropped the bottle. You can talk. You can actually talk. Day touched his throat, then pointed to Jia's tablet. She handed it to him. His large fingers looked too big for the screen, but he moved them with care. He opened a blank page and drew shapes. They looked like strange letters. Is this your language? Jia asked. Day nodded. Then he pointed to his head, then to Jia's. He made a connecting motion between them. You want to connect our minds? Jia guessed. Day nodded again. I don't know if that's possible, Jia said. Humans don't do that. Day's scales shifted from purple to a deep blue. He seemed sad. Then he reached out slowly and touched Jia's hand. A small spark jumped between them. Jia gasped. For just 1 second, she felt something. Not words, but a feeling. Gratitude. It wasn't her feeling. It was Day's. How did you do that? She whispered. Day drew more on the tablet. Pictures this time. His kind, living underground, using lights from their bodies to talk without words. Bioelectric communication, Jia said, excited now. Your species can send electrical signals that carry emotional content. That's incredible. The next day, Jia had to return to the station. Her supplies were running low, and people were getting suspicious. I have to hide you, she told Da. Stay in this storage room. Don't make noise. I'll come back as soon as I can. Day touched her hand again. Another spark. This time, Jia felt worry. I'll be fine, she said. Trust me. At the station, everyone had questions. Where were her samples? Why did she look so tired? Why was she in such a hurry to get supplies and go back? Tai stopped her in the hallway. He looked good. Happy. It made Jia angry. Find anything interesting out there, Jia? He asked. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Just the usual plants. Mud. Rain. Jia tried to move past him. Ta blocked her way. Strange. Your pod sent some unusual energy readings during the storm. Spikes of electrical activity. Jia's heart beat faster. Day's communication must have caused those spikes. Lightning, she said quickly. The storm was bad. Lightning doesn't look like that on sensors. Ta stepped closer. What are you hiding, Jia? Nothing. I'm tired. Let me pass. Ta smiled again. I've scheduled a full team to visit your research site tomorrow. If there's something interesting there, we should all see it. Right? Jia felt cold fear. There's nothing to see. Just my broken pod. Then you won't mind the company. Ta walked away, calling over his shoulder. See you tomorrow, Jia. Jia rushed to get supplies. She had to warn Da, had to hide him better or move him, if Tai found him. As she hurried back to her pod, Jia realized something strange. She could feel worry again, Day's worry. But he was miles away. Somehow, their connection was growing stronger, deeper. And it might be the only thing that could save them both. Jia raced back to her pod. Her heart beat fast as rain began to fall again. She had to reach Da before Tai and his team arrived in the morning. Night had fallen by the time she reached the pod. She burst through the door, calling out, Da, we have to go. They're coming tomorrow. There was no answer. The storage room was empty. Da was gone. Jia felt panic rise in her chest. Then she noticed the tablet on her desk. On it was a drawing, a simple map. Da had drawn the way to a cave not far from the pod. Smart, Jia whispered. Da had hidden himself. She grabbed her rain suit again and followed the map to a small opening in the rocks. Inside, Day sat waiting. His scales glowed with a soft blue light that lit up the cave. "Ta, coming." Day's deep voice rumbled the simple words he had learned. "Yes," Jia said. "How did you know?" Day touched his head, then hers. "The connection. You felt my worry," Jia realized. "From that far away." Day nodded. Then he moved deeper into the cave, beckoning her to follow. The cave opened into a tunnel that went down into the planet. "Your home?" Jia asked. "Not safe," Day said. "Hide here." They made a small camp in the cave. Jia knew she should return to the pod before morning to face Tai and his team. But she was tired. So tired. She fell asleep beside Day, whose body gave off a gentle warmth. She woke to the sound of voices, human voices. "The pod is empty," came Ta's voice from outside the cave. "Fan out. Look for tracks." Jia sat up in alarm. Dad was already awake, his scales now a dark color that made him hard to see in the dim cave. "They found us," she whispered. A light flashed at the cave entrance. A voice called out. "Movement in this cave. I'm going in." Jia stood and stepped forward. "Wait, it's me, Jia." Too late, she realized her mistake. Behind her, Day was visible in the beam of the searcher's light. "What the hell is that?" the person shouted, raising a weapon. "Don't shoot." Jia stepped in front of Day. "He's friendly." More people appeared at the entrance. Among them was Ta, his face showing first surprise, then a cold smile. "Well, well," he said. "Now I see why you were so eager to stay at your pod. Quite a discovery you've been hiding." "He was hurt," Jia explained. "I was helping him. And breaking every rule in the book," Ta said. He motioned to the others. "Secure the alien specimen. Take Dr. Park into custody for protocol violations." "No." Jia tried to block them, but two security officers held her arms. "His name is Da. He's intelligent. He can communicate." Day stood, his full height making the human step back. His scales flashed with angry red light. "See, it's dangerous," Ta said. "Backing up. Stun it." "Da." "No," Jia shouted as Dad moved toward Ta. "Don't hurt them." A security officer fired his stun weapon. Dai fell to the ground, his scales fading to dull gray. "Careful transport of the specimen to the main lab," Tate ordered. "This is the discovery of a lifetime." He looked at Jia with cold eyes. "Thanks to Dr. Park's protocol violations, we now have a live alien subject to study." "He's not a subject," Jia said, tears in her eyes. "He's a person." Todd laughed. "Your romantic ideas about alien life are why you'll never lead a research team." He nodded to the officers. "Take her back. Keep her away from the specimen." As they dragged her out of the cave, Jia felt a weak pulse in her mind. Dai, barely conscious, was still trying to reach her. His feelings came through dimly. Confusion, pain, and something else. Fear, not for himself, but for her. Jia sent back the only feeling she could. "Asterisk, I'll find you. I promise, asterisk." 3 days had passed since they took Da. Jia sat in her small room at the station, not allowed to leave. They called it temporary containment, but it was really a prison. Through the walls, she could feel Da's pain. Their connection had grown stronger, not weaker. Each time Tai and his team ran tests on Da, Jia felt it. Each cut, each prod, each shock. It was like they were testing her too. "I have to get him out," she whispered to herself. The door opened. Sue, Ta's new girlfriend, stood there with a food tray. "Your dinner," Sue said, not meeting Jia's eyes. "How is he?" Jia asked. "The alien." Sue looked nervous. "I shouldn't talk about it." Jia moved closer. "Please, Sue, is he all right?" Sue checked the hallway, then spoke quietly. "Tai is going too far. The tests are cruel, and there are others now." "Others?" Jia felt cold. "Other aliens?" Sue nodded. 3 more, smaller ones, found near the cave system. She looked up finally. They make sounds when they're hurt, like crying. Gia felt sick. Day's family, perhaps, or friends. I have to stop this, Gia said. You can't, Sue replied. Ta has security everywhere. The aliens are in the high-security lab. Gia thought fast. You could help me. Why would I do that? Because you know this is wrong, Gia said. And because Tai will throw you away too, someday, just like he did with me. Sue didn't answer, but her eyes showed doubt. She left, locking the door behind her. That night, as Gia tried to sleep, she felt a strong push in her mind. Day was reaching out to her. Images flashed in her head. The lab, guards, key cards, a plan. You want me to help you escape, Gia whispered. But how? More images came. The station's power system. A weakness. Gia sat up in bed. The backup generators. They test them every week. She knew that during those tests, there was a brief moment when the security doors reset. A feeling of agreement flowed from Da. Tomorrow, Gia said. The test is tomorrow. The next day, Gia waited by her door. Right on schedule, the lights flickered. 1 second, 2 seconds. The lock clicked. Gia pushed the door open and stepped into the empty hallway. She ran to the lab section, hiding from guards. In her mind, Da guided her. Left here. Right there. Watch out. When she reached the high-security lab, the door was open from the power reset. Inside, Da was strapped to a large table. 3 smaller aliens were in cages nearby. They all had the same 3 eyes and scaled skin, but in different colors. Da, Gia whispered, running to him. She unstrapped him quickly. Day stood, his legs weak. Gia, he said, his voice stronger than before. Danger. I know, she said, freeing the smaller aliens. We have to hurry. Alarms began to sound. The power was fully back on. This way, Gia said, leading them toward the emergency exit. They almost made it. Then Ta stepped out from a side room, a weapon in his hand. Stop right there, he said. Did you really think it would be so easy? Gia stepped in front of the aliens. Let us go, Ta. What you're doing is wrong. Wrong. Ta laughed. This is the discovery that will make my career. I'll be famous. They're intelligent beings, Gia said. Not lab rats. They're aliens, Tay replied. Not people. Day moved forward, his scales glowing bright red. Tay raised his weapon. Suddenly, all the lights went out. Complete darkness filled the room. What? Ta began. In the dark, Gia felt Day's hand grab hers. A flash of images entered her mind. The others, using their bioelectric abilities to overload the system. Come, Day's voice said in the blackness. Home. They ran past Ta, who fired blindly, missing them all. Through the emergency exit and out into the night, they ran toward the cave system as alarms blared behind them. The small aliens led the way, their scales glowing just bright enough to light the path. Into the caves they went, deeper and deeper. To Da's home, deeper and deeper into the cave system they went. Gia struggled to keep up with Da and the smaller aliens. The tunnels twisted and turned, going down into the planet. Light came from strange glowing stones in the walls. How much farther? Gia asked, out of breath. Home close, Da said. His English was still simple, but improving fast. After another hour of walking, the tunnel opened into a huge cave. Gia stopped and stared in wonder. The cave was as big as the main station. Hundreds of aliens like Da moved about. They lived in homes carved into the walls. Water flowed in streams across the floor. Plants with glowing leaves grew everywhere. Your city, Gia whispered. Yes, Yule home. Yule? Is that what your people are called? Day nodded. We Yule. I Yule. You human. The other Yule noticed them. Many backed away in fear when they saw Jia. Some made angry sounds. The smaller Yule that had escaped with them moved forward and spoke to the others in their own language. It was like music, full of clicks and hums. An older Yule stepped forward. Her scales were pale blue, almost white. She was smaller than Dai, but carried herself with great dignity. "I'm Mun," she said in broken English. "Elder. Leader." "I'm Jia," Jia replied, bowing slightly. "I'm sorry for what my people did to yours." Mun studied her for a long moment. "You help Da. Help little ones." "Why?" "Because it was right," Jia said simply. They were being hurt. Mun turned to Dai and spoke in their language. Dai answered, his scales changing color as he talked. He seemed to be explaining something important. Finally, Mun faced Jia again. "You stay. Learn vital ways." "Thank you," Jia said, relieved. She had nowhere else to go now. The station would treat her as a traitor. Day led her to a small cave room. "You home now," he said. In the days that followed, Jia learned about the Yule. They were not primitive as humans thought. They had technology, but it was different from human tech. It used the natural energy of the planet and their own bioelectric abilities. Jia also spent many hours with Da. He taught her the Yule language. She taught him more English. Their connection grew stronger each day. One evening, as they sat by a glowing pool, Day took her hand. A spark jumped between them, but this time it didn't stop. It grew into a steady flow of energy. Jia gasped as Day's feelings flowed into her mind, not just simple emotions now, but deep, complex feelings. Wonder at the stars, sadness for lost friends, fear of human weapons, and something else, something warm that centered on her. "What is this?" Jia asked when the connection faded. "Vital way," Day explained. "We connect, share true self. No lies, no hiding." "Humans don't do this," Jia said. "We use words, but words can lie. We never truly know what others feel." "Sad way," Daz said. "Lonely." Jia nodded. "Yes, very lonely." "Try," Daz said. "Send to me." Jia closed her eyes. She focused on her feelings. Her gratitude to Da, her anger at Ta, her fear of the future. She pushed these thoughts toward Da. When she opened her eyes, Day's scales were glowing bright purple. "Feel you," he said, his voice full of wonder. "Human never connect before. Only you." "Is that good?" Jia asked. "Very good." Day's three eyes blinked in sequence. "Special." That night, lying in her cave room, Jia thought about human relationships. About Ta. He had said he loved her, but his words were empty. He never truly saw her, never understood her. With Dai and the Yule, there were no empty words, no lies, just pure connection. For the first time in her life, Jia felt truly seen, truly known. Jia sat with the Yule elders in a large cave room. Light from glowing stones lit their faces. 3 days had passed since she learned about the Yule's history with humans. "Show her," Mun, the oldest elder, said to Da. Day took Jia's hand. His scales glowed bright blue. Suddenly, Jia saw images in her mind. Not just feelings this time, but clear pictures. She saw tall ships on water, men with old clothes and weapons. They found Yule living near the shore. At first, things were peaceful. Then the men wanted the Yule's glowing stones. When the Yule said no, the men attacked. Many Yule died. The rest fled underground. That was 500 years ago. Dad explained when the vision ended. Those men left, but they marked this world. And now more humans have come, Jia said sadly. "The planet remembers," Mun said. Her scales were pale with age. "We are connected to it. What hurts us hurts the planet." "I don't understand," Jia said. Day led her to a large pool of water in the center of the cave. Its surface was smooth like glass. Look, he said. Jia looked into the water. She saw images of the planet's surface. Areas where humans had set up small bases were shown in red. Around these areas, plants were dying. The soil was changing. Human technology harms this world, Mun explained. And if Yul die, more harm comes. We balance the planet. If humans kill the Yul, Dae said, the planet will become sick. In 50 years, it will die. Nothing will grow. The air will change. So humans can't live here either, Jia realized. Not in the long term. Not the way they want to, Mun agreed. Jia felt cold. Ta doesn't know this. No one at the station knows. Would they believe if they knew? Dae asked. Jia thought about it. Would they? Or would they just see it as the Yul trying to keep their world? I don't know, she admitted. Mun moved closer to Jia. There is more you should see. The old Yul touched Jia's face with one long finger. Jia gasped as new images filled her mind. She saw herself, but different. Her skin had a faint glow. Around her hands, small sparks of light danced. What is this? She asked when the vision ended. You, Mun said. Now, I don't understand. Dae took her hand. Your connection with me has changed you. Your cells. Your energy. You are becoming something new. Jia looked at her hands. They seemed normal. I don't feel different. Try, Dad said. Think of light. Push it out. Jia closed her eyes. She thought of light, of energy moving from her center to her fingers. When she opened her eyes, tiny sparks danced around her fingertips. What am I becoming? She whispered, both amazed and scared. A bridge, Mun said, between human and Yul. First of your kind. This has never happened before, Jia asked. No human has ever stayed with us long enough, Dae explained, or connected so deeply. Mun turned as another Yul entered the room quickly. Humans, the messenger said. Many, with weapons. They searched the caves. Jia felt fear rise in her chest. Ta. He's found us. We must hide deeper, Mun said. No. Jia stood up, looking at her hands where the sparks had faded. I should talk to them. Try to explain. Dangerous, Dae said, touching her arm. I know, Jia replied. But I'm the only one who can speak for both sides now. She looked at her changed hands. Maybe that's why this is happening to me. Dae's scales shifted to a worried purple color. I go with you. Jia nodded. Together, they headed toward the upper caves, toward the human search party, toward a confrontation that would decide the fate of two species. And Jia wondered if her new abilities would be enough to stop what was coming. Jia and Dae climbed toward the upper caves. The sound of human voices grew louder. Jia's heart beat fast, but her mind was clear. She knew what she had to do. Wait, Dae said, stopping at a turn in the tunnel. Many humans, many weapons. I have to try, Jia said. I have to make them understand. Dae's scales flashed with worry. Todd will not listen. Maybe not, but others might. They rounded the corner and saw them. 20 soldiers with guns, scientists with scanners, and at the front Ta. His face looked thin and hard. His eyes moved constantly, searching the shadows. Jia stepped into the light. Ta, she called. Everyone turned. Guns pointed at her. Tae's eyes widened. Jia, he said, you're alive. Then his eyes narrowed. And helping the aliens. Put your weapons down, Jia said to the soldiers. We just want to talk. Ta laughed. Talk. After you attacked our people and stole our research subjects. They are not research subjects, Jia said. They are people. The Yul. They are intelligent. They have a society, the history. They're aliens, Tae replied. They're valuable scientific discoveries. Nothing more. Jia took a step forward. A soldier raised his gun higher. Stop, Tae ordered. Where is the big one? Your special friend. I'm here, Daz said, stepping into the light beside Jia. Several soldiers gasped. They had never heard a Yul speak. Tay tried to hide his surprise. So it can talk. Interesting. He turned to a scientist beside him. Make a note of that. Ta, listen to me, Jia said. There's something you don't know. Something important. And what's that? The Yul are connected to this planet. If they die, the planet begins to die. The air changes. Plants die. Within 50 years, nothing will grow here. Humans can't live here if the Yul are gone. Ta smiled, but his eyes were cold. A convenient story. Did they tell you that to save themselves? It's the truth, Jia insisted. I've seen proof. Show me this proof, Ta challenged. Jia hesitated. She couldn't show him the pool. Couldn't make him understand with just words. Day stepped forward. I show him, he said. No, Jia grabbed his arm. He'll shoot you. Must try, Daz said. He walked slowly toward Tai, hands open to show he had no weapons. Stop right there, Tai ordered, pulling out his own gun. Day stopped but held out one hand. Touch, see truth. He wants to share thoughts with you, Jia explained. The Yul can do that. It's how they communicate. Mind control, you mean? Ta said. No thanks. A young soldier stepped forward. Sir, what if he's telling the truth? What if the aliens are connected to the planet? Don't be ridiculous, Ta snapped. But sir, our long-term scans have shown changes in plant life near our bases. Soil chemistry is altering too. Tay turned on the soldier. Are you questioning me? While they argued, Jia felt a strange feeling in her hands. She looked down. Small sparks of light danced around her fingers. The changes Mun had mentioned were happening faster than expected. Ta, she called. Watch. She held up her hands. The sparks grew brighter. She focused her mind, remembering how Dai had taught her to control bioelectric energy. A small ball of light formed between her palms. Everyone stared in shock. Even Da looked surprised. What have they done to you? Ta whispered. They haven't done anything, Jia said. This is what happens when human and Yul truly connect. I'm changing. Becoming something new. You're contaminated, Ta said. We need to get you back to the lab. Study this effect. No, Jia let the light grow brighter. I'm not going anywhere. And neither are the Yul. Tai raised his gun. I won't let alien monsters ruin humanity's chance for a new world. They're not the monsters here, Jia said. Her voice was sad but firm. Look at yourself, Ta. Look at what you're willing to do. A shot rang out. Not from Ta's gun, but from a soldier at the back. The bullet flew toward Da. Without thinking, Jia threw her hands up. The ball of light shot forward and hit the bullet. There was a flash of blue energy. The bullet melted in midair. Everyone stood frozen in shock. Leave, Jia said, her hands still glowing. Tell your leaders what you saw. Tell them the Yul are not for studying or killing. Tell them to send people who will talk, not shoot. Some soldiers began backing away. Others looked to Ta for orders. Tay's face was pale with anger and fear. This isn't over, he said. We'll be back. With more men, better weapons, and we'll be waiting, Jia replied. But not for war. For understanding. The humans retreated, taking their weapons and fear with them. Only Ta looked back, his eyes meeting Jia's one last time. In them, she saw something unexpected. Doubt. Jia stood at the edge of the underground lake. The blue water reflected the light from her hands. Ever since the battle with the human soldiers, her powers had grown stronger. Now her whole body gave off a soft glow. Day sat beside her. His wounds from the fight were almost healed. They will come back, he said, with more weapons. I know, Jia replied. Ta won't give up. 3 days had passed since the humans retreated. Ta had escaped, but many soldiers stayed behind when they saw what Jia could do. When they saw how she stopped bullets with light from her hands, how she made them feel a Yule's pain through her mind. Those soldiers now lived in a cave near the surface. They talked with the Yule. They learned. They changed. But the main human base was different. Ja knew they were planning a bigger attack. More soldiers. Bigger weapons. They would destroy the Yule to get what they wanted. There must be a way to make them understand, Jia said. Mun, the old Yule elder, joined them at the lake. There is a way, she said, but it asks much of you. Tell me, Jia said. You are already part Yule now, Mun explained. Your connection with Dai changed your body. But you could become more. A true bridge between our kinds. How? Jia asked. The deep ritual, Daz said, his scales turning a worried blue. It is dangerous. Mun nodded. You would enter the sacred pool. Your body would change more. Your mind would open to all Yule. And any human you touch would feel it too. You could make them understand us, Dai added. Not just with words. They would feel the truth. Jia looked at the water. What are the risks? Death, Mun said simply. The change might be too much. Your human body might not survive. Jia thought about it. Die in the pool or watch the Yule die in battle. Watch Da die. Is there another way? She asked. We could run, Dai suggested. Go deeper into the planet. Hide. For how long? Jia asked. Humans are good at finding things. Just then, a young Yule ran into the cave. Human machines, he reported. Many. Flying this way. They're coming, Jia said. She looked at the pool again. I've made my choice. Dai grabbed her arm. Jia, no, too dangerous. Jia touched his face. I have to try. For both our kinds. She turned to Mun. What do I do? Remove your clothes, Mun said. Enter the pool. Let your mind open. Accept what comes. Jia did as she was told. The water was warm, like blood. As she waded deeper, it began to glow around her. Remember why you do this. Mun called from the shore. Hold to that purpose. Jia thought about Da, about the Yule children, about the human soldiers who had stayed to learn, about peace between the species. When the water reached her neck, pain shot through her body. She screamed. The water turned bright blue around her. Jia. Dai tried to run to her, but Mun held him back. She must do this alone, the elder said. The pain was terrible. Jia felt like her skin was tearing, her bones breaking and reforming. Her mind stretched until she thought it would break. Then she heard voices, many voices. The Yule, all of them, in her head. And beyond them, fainter but there, human voices, the soldiers who had stayed. She could feel them too. Suddenly, the pain stopped. Jia floated in the water, not sure if she was alive or dead. Then strong arms pulled her out. Dai carried her to the shore and wrapped her in a soft cloth. Jia, he whispered, are you there? Jia opened her eyes. The world looked different, brighter, full of energy she could see. I'm here, she said. Her voice sounded strange. Musical. I feel everything. Mun leaned over her. The bridge is made. Now we face what comes. In the distance, they heard the sound of human aircraft. Jia stood at the cave entrance. Her skin glowed with soft blue light. Her eyes, once dark brown, now shimmered with purple energy. She was no longer just human, but not fully Yule either. She was something new. Behind her stood Da and the Yule elders. In front of her, at the bottom of the hill, human soldiers prepared their weapons. Large machines pointed at the caves. Ta stood with the human leaders, pointing and giving orders. It's time, Jia said. Dai touched her shoulder. Be careful. Jia nodded and began walking down the hill, alone. As she approached, soldiers raised their guns. Stop right there, someone shouted. Jia stopped. She raised her empty hands. I want to talk, she called. No one needs to die today. Ta pushed through the soldiers. His eyes widened when he saw her. Jia, what happened to you? His voice mixed shock and disgust. I've changed, she said simply. I understand things now, both human and wild. Tay's face hardened. You've been contaminated, or brainwashed. He turned to a soldier. Take her into custody. We'll study whatever they've done to her. No, Jia said firmly. As the soldiers moved toward her, she raised her hands. Energy sparked between her fingers. The soldiers stopped. Listen to me, she said loudly so everyone could hear. This planet is alive. The Vyul are connected to it. If you kill them, the planet will die. Within 50 years, nothing will grow here. The air will turn bad. Humans cannot live here if the Yu will die. That's ridiculous, Ta said. She's making up stories to protect the aliens. I can prove it, Jia replied. Let me show you. Before anyone could stop her, she walked forward and grabbed Ta's hand. Blue energy flowed from her to him. Tai tried to pull away but couldn't. His eyes went wide as images filled his mind. The planet's systems, the connection with the Yule, the slow death that would come if that connection broke. He saw it all. When Jia let go, Tai stumbled back. His face was pale. What did you do to me? He whispered. Showed you the truth, Jia said. The same truth I'll show anyone who wants to see. She turned to the other humans. Who else wants to know? Who else wants to understand? A woman stepped forward, one of the scientists from the station. I do, she said. Jia took her hand. The energy flowed again. When it was done, the woman had tears in her eyes. It's true, she told the others. Everything, she said. One by one, soldiers and scientists came forward. Jia showed them all. Only a few refused to look. The human leader, a gray-haired man named Jin, was the last to step forward. If what you show me is true, he said, what do you suggest we do? Learn from the Yuel, Jia answered. Work with them. Share this world. They have technology we don't understand. We have things they can use too. And what about you? Jin asked. What are you now? Jia looked at her glowing hands. I'm the bridge, she said, between human and vital. I can help both sides understand each other. Jin thought for a long moment. Then he nodded. We will talk. No more attacks. 3 weeks later, humans and Yule sat together in a large cave. They made plans for sharing the planet. It wasn't easy. There were arguments, but they were talking, not fighting. Jia watched from the side, with Da beside her. Her new Yule abilities grew stronger each day. She could feel the planet now, just as the Yule could. Are you happy with your choice? Dai asked her. Jia thought about all she had lost. Her old body, her old life. But then she thought about what she had gained. A deeper understanding. A chance for peace. And Dai. Yes, she said, taking his hand. A young human scientist watching them looked curious. How can you be happy with him? The man asked. He's so different from us. From what you were. Jia smiled, her eyes glowing softly. The monster loved me more than a man ever could, she said, because it never saw me as anything less than whole.